There's an old rule in the countryside. If animals suddenly start gathering near your house at night, lock your doors. Because animals don't come closer to humans for safety. They come closer when something worse is behind them. And the night they surrounded my house, I learned exactly what they were running from. I moved to rural Tennessee 2 years ago. Small wooden house, a dirt road, miles of forest behind the property, peaceful, quiet, exactly what I wanted. The closest neighbor lived almost 3 miles away. At night, the only sounds were crickets, owls, and sometimes coyotes. But one night in late November, something strange started happening. It began with the birds. Around midnight, I woke up suddenly. At first, I didn't know why. Then I heard it, flapping, hundreds of wings. I looked outside my bedroom window. The yard was full of birds. Crows, dozens of them, maybe hundreds. They covered the fence, the trees, the roof of my shed, but they weren't making noise. No cawing, no fighting, just sitting there, facing the forest, completely still, like they were watching something. Then the deer arrived. 2 of them at first. They stepped slowly out of the woods. Normally deer run the moment they smell a human house, but these ones didn't run. They walked right into the yard. Then 4 more came, then 6. Soon, there were nearly 20 deer standing around the property, all of them facing the forest, all of them perfectly still. Even the birds didn't move. The entire yard looked frozen, like time had stopped. My dog Max started growling, low, deep. Max was a big Labrador, friendly with everyone. But that night, his fur stood straight up. He walked to the door and stared outside. Then he started barking, loud, aggressive, not at the animals, at the trees. Then something strange happened. The crickets stopped. The wind stopped. Even the birds stopped flapping their wings. The entire forest went silent. And that's when I noticed something. All the animals moved closer to the house. The deer stepped forward. The birds shifted from the trees to the roof. Even a fox appeared near the fence. It looked like every animal was slowly moving toward the light of the house, like they were trying to stay close to it, like it was the only safe place. Then I heard footsteps, not from the yard, from the forest, heavy, slow, crunch, crunch, crunch. Something was walking through the trees, but it was too big to be a deer, too slow to be a bear. And whatever it was, the animals clearly knew about it, because none of them ran. They just stared into the darkness, waiting. I grabbed my flashlight and stepped onto the porch. The moment I did, every animal in the yard turned their heads toward me, all at once. Hundreds of eyes staring at me. Then they looked back toward the forest, like they were warning me. That's when I saw it. 2 pale shapes between the trees. Eyes, high above the ground, too high, nearly 9 feet up. They blinked slowly, and then the trees started moving. At first I thought it was a trick of the light, but the branches were bending. Something large was stepping forward. Something tall, extremely tall. The deer finally moved, but not away from the forest. They moved closer to the house. One deer even stepped onto my porch. That's when I understood. They weren't gathering, they were hiding. The thing in the trees. The creature stepped closer, still hidden by darkness, but I could hear it breathing, slow, deep, like air moving through a cave. Max barked louder than I'd ever heard, but the creature didn't react. It just stood there, watching. The animals didn't run, not one of them. They were frozen in place, like they knew running wouldn't help. The moment everything changed. Then the creature made a sound, not a roar, not a growl, something worse. It sounded like imitating animals. First a bird call, then a deer bleat, then a fox scream. But every sound was slightly wrong, like something that had heard animals before, but didn't fully understand them. The birds suddenly exploded into the sky. Deer scattered in every direction. The fox vanished into the darkness. Max ran inside the house, and the yard became empty again, except for me. And the thing in the trees? The closest IT came. The creature stepped forward once. Moonlight finally touched part of it. Long arms, too long, shoulders taller than the fence, skin pale like tree bark, and those eyes. Bright, Unblinking, it tilted its head, then made a sound again. This time, it sounded like my dog, perfectly. Max whimpered inside the house. The creature repeated the sound over and over, like it was practicing, learning. The morning, I didn't sleep that night. I stayed inside with every light on. The footsteps circled the house for hours, sometimes near the door, sometimes near the windows, just walking, slow, patient. Then, just before sunrise, it stopped. The forest became quiet again. When daylight finally came, I stepped outside. The yard looked normal. No animals, no tracks, except one massive footprint in the mud, nearly twice the size of my boot. The warning. I showed the footprint to a local ranger later that week. He stared at it for a long time. Then he asked me something strange. Did the animals come toward your house? I nodded. He sighed. Then he said something I'll never forget.
Good.
Because if they ever run away from your house instead, it means the thing in the woods already chose where it's going. Since that night, I keep my lights on after dark. And sometimes, late at night, I see animals gathering near the fence again. Deer, foxes, owls, all facing the forest, watching, waiting, and every time that happens, I remember one thing. Animals don't gather together for no reason. If they come to your house at night, they're not visiting. They're hiding from something still walking through those woods, learning their sounds, and maybe, one day, learning yours.